How's it going, everyone? Matt Leighton. Welcome back to another real estate video. Guys, today we are joined by David Cartner, a settlement attorney with Highland Title. David, thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Matt, for allowing me to be here.
Cool. So what we want to do in this video is paint a picture, and that picture is if you're a seller, what to expect the day of settlement. So David, here's the picture. I just sold my house. It's under contract right now. We're on our way to closing within 30 days at full list price if you chose me as the listing agent.
Of course.
But what happens next? So we have the signed contract, but where do you come in? What do you provide, and where do we go from here?
Right. So what we see nowadays, most times, we get involved. I'm part of the title company, so I'm an attorney. I have two hats on usually. I'm either a settlement agent and or I am an attorney with the title company, depending on what my role is at any given time. So the contract will come in from you guys, and we appreciate that. And we'll see that we are named the title company. Usually the buyer chooses the title company, but we do have a lot of split closings more nowadays. Once we get the contract in, we start looking out and we send out our welcome letter asking the seller for their information. If you have a loan on the property, we'd like to need to know your payoff information, any kind of form like that. If there's any kind of liens on the property that you know of beforehand, we'd like to know. If there's an HOA, we need to have the contact information for the HOA board so we can order the docs and so forth like that.
So they'll tell you about any liens, but then you're also digging in some paperwork and running your searches for any liens.
Correct. Yes, we have our title abstractor, and he comes in and they will go research the property back 60 years to make sure everything is good and going, and that the chain of title is clear before we go to settlement.
Okay, awesome. And then, so once you fill out that paperwork as a seller and you get to settlement, what happens there? What do you need? What should a seller expect that settlement day?
So once we have all their information and the sellers are going to be around, a lot of times the sellers are remote or they've already moved away. You know, we live in the DMV area, so people are always on the move or traveling. If the seller knows that we're ready to get to closing, we have everything, all the ducks are in line and everything's good to go, you know, we can sign beforehand. So if the seller is going to leave, but you know, a week before closing, we can have the seller come in and we will sign everything beforehand, and then we'll have it finalized on the date that the buyer does sign.
Yeah, so a lot of times the buyer is signing the day of closing, but the seller, they don't have to be on that timeline. If we're closing on the 31st, they can sign the 30th, a couple days before. It doesn't have to be something where everyone is sitting at the table at one time.
Right. You know, 6 or 7 years ago when I first got into this side of the business, it was more common to have everybody at the table. And then nowadays, I'd say probably 85% of my closings are split. I never see both sides sitting at the same time.
So as a seller, what sort of things do you need to bring? Photo ID, checkbook, or for wiring instructions, maybe you've already taken care of that beforehand. What sort of items does a seller need to bring?
So when they come to closing, we just need a photo ID, make sure it matches the name that's on the contract and matches the name that we have in title. It has to be valid. And then, as you said, if you're planning on having your money wired to you, we need to have a check or something of your account information that you have prior to us coming in, and you hand that to us. We'll void out a check, or if it's going to a certain bank account, you can give us that information. And then we will process it, and that's how you're gonna get your money. The big important thing.
Yeah, definitely. So the settlement statement for the seller, that's something that they can see beforehand, right?
Usually, yeah.
How quickly beforehand? A day before, a week before, a month before?
Most of the times we can probably do it a week or week and a half. We can do a prelim one pretty quickly, and that's just really our fees and then just whatever fees are dealing with the real estate brokerage and things like that. The only thing that we usually have to wait on time is ordering and payoff. So if you did have a loan out on the property, we have to have certain money, whatever's left on the loan, it takes the bank a few days to get that to us. And if over their HOA stuff, that's the only things that really holds it off.
The reason I asked that question is I'm trying to think what sort of surprises you may see if you're a seller at the settlement table. I mean, think about, you've probably done hundreds, if not thousands of closings in your lifetime.
Yep.
What happened? Like, why do sellers get upset other than maybe selling for a lower price? What is causing them at the settlement table to be surprised or shocked or taken aback? Like, oh, I had no idea. Let's talk more about what happens.
So we strive that you should have no surprises. I mean, everyone should be okay with everything on the settlement statement. The only time that I ever see certain things is if there's walkthrough issues, and that's you as a buyer agent go in and hey, something wasn't fixed or something just all of a sudden was not the same as when you walked in the first day of the house. And now all of a sudden we have to do something, right? We have to either it has to be repaired, there has to be a credit given, there has to be something along the lines the seller was not expecting at that time.
Okay, so there shouldn't really be any surprises. The preliminary settlement statement, I mean, you could probably get that out in what, 24 hours, 48 hours, something immediately once you're under contract. So hopefully by the time you get to settlement, you already know what you're signing, or maybe you're signing like a week before settlement, which is what a lot of sellers do. That's basically what you need to know on the day of settlement, guys. David Cartner, he works with Highland Title here in the Northern Virginia, DC area. I'm doing a few videos with him, so be sure to check out the channel for more title and settlement videos on what to expect. David, thanks for joining me. Until next time, create a productive day. Take care.